really excited to have you here today in order to talk about something that we've been working on for a couple of months now, and we think is going to have a significant impact on the way that air cargo professionals search and book air cargo. So today we're going to talk about faster, better air cargo operations, or what we call internally the webcargo matrix view. A quick overview of what we'll be touching on today. We're going to start talking about the digital air cargo landscape and how this industry has evolved over the past 40 years or so. Yeah, 40 years. Then we're going to touch a little bit on the COVID impact for air cargo digitization, because really at this point, it's impossible to ignore the role that it's playing. Finally, we're going to talk a little bit about digital air cargo and e-bookings and why it makes so much sense. Now, the people that are on this call are the early adopters. You are the people that have already identified the value of e-bookings and understand how much it helps. Finally, I'll turn it over to Manel to talk a little bit about the web cargo evolution over the past 10 years or so, and then finally jump into an early demo of what Matrix View actually is. If I have to zoom back, and this is something that is always shocking when I think about it, passenger travel has been digitized since the 1960s. By the 1970s, you could go to a travel agent and get an instant price for a seat. Not only that, but the travel agent could tell you whether there was space available on any given airplane. That is shockingly advanced because it was very rare for any industry to have that type of digitization back in the 1970s. When you zoom forward 40 years, though, it seems pretty much like the nuts and bolts, right? Almost any industry has that. However, below the deck, air cargo, which drives about a third of the global cargo movement by value, still isn't necessarily there. However, that started to change very significantly over the past year or two. And that's what I like about this. This isn't a technology provider like webcargo going to a webinar and talking about what the future looks like. This is us talking about what the future is right now. Some of the largest freight forwarders and airlines in the world have already adopted digital air cargo, and we're going to dive into exactly what that term means and start to unpack that. But first, let's talk COVID. This is also a really good time for me to just give a shout out to the logistics industry as a whole, because when you think about it, this industry, the people listening to this call are the people that are actually making sure that goods continue to move around the world. So thank you for that. When we look at e-bookings since the beginning of January 2019, when the technology was still a little bit early, you could see that 2019 was an important year, but certainly not a breakout year. Every single month almost, besides June when we were all on vacation, the number of e-bookings went up and up and up and up, and that continued to climb in the beginning of 2020. Once COVID hit in the end of January and beginning of February, e-bookings actually accelerated. Right? One of the clear trends that we've all identified is that the available capacity, the supply, plummeted dramatically because passenger flights were taken out and many freighters couldn't fly either, whereas suddenly the demand to move goods stayed, or in some cases actually increased. So we saw this very interesting thing where suddenly there was an increase in the number of e-bookings. This was suddenly in the moment where many people in the industry opened their eyes and realized, oh my God, we need e-bookings. We need live access to capacity. We need live pricing, and we need the ability to book it in real time. But as the industry hit a fluxing point where there was so much demand and so little supply, e-bookings and in general air cargo digitization, which is still a relatively new area, could not necessarily keep up. And so in April and May, we began to see a very, very dramatic decline in the number of e-bookings. But I think everybody on this call, but really everybody in the industry, saw March and April as a wake-up call. They saw digital air cargo and e-bookings as an opportunity to make better, faster air cargo decisions. What we've seen over the past month or so, certainly in June and definitely in July, is that e-bookings have hit radical rapid growth. Right now, July is seeing a 1,000% increase in the number of e-bookings conducted on webcargo when we compare it to January 2019. Compare that to other technology adoption, like the amount of time it took electronic airway bills to penetrate and permeate across the industry, and we know that we're onto something very, very important, and we're glad to have such valuable partners like everybody here. So what is digital air cargo? Digital air cargo is the recognition that supply chains are moving faster than ever. BCOs or shippers want to make decisions much quicker than they ever have. They want to be able to provide better customer service than they ever have. And in order to do that, real-time supply chains absolutely need real-time global air freight. That is where air cargo really shines. Very quick, very fast decisions that are cost effective. And in order to provide that same transportation style, we need to provide that same customer service. At the end of the day, digital air cargo comes down to 4 core tenets. It comes down to real-time dynamic pricing. When prices change dynamically, it improves capacity for both the airlines and the price that both the forwarders and the end customer ends up paying. It also means that they can have better utilization factors. In 2019, about 70 to 80% of all capacity for passenger travel was utilized. In air cargo, that hovers under 50%. Obviously, that's because there's an imbalance in some global trade lanes. However, it's still something that we can do better about. Real-time e-bookings. It's not enough to just know, is there space? What is the cost? You need to actually get a confirmation from the airline that that e-booking is in place. And finally, you need to move that information automatically without a human being involved necessarily directly to the end shipper. Now, that's kind of the general context, but let's take this down to the actual ground floor, to what it means from a nuts and bolts perspective for a logistics provider. I'd like to invite Manel to continue and talk a little bit about the transition that webcargo has made while recognizing this new reality.
So thanks a lot to join to this webinar, and some of you will remember that we started up webcargo 12 years ago in 2008, and the idea of webcargo was to make easier the communications between airlines and freight forwarders. No, the idea was that the freight forwarder can insert one origin, one destination, and can see all the options for this lane, no, including contract rates, promo rates, and winter and summer rates. During 2008, 2009, and 2010, we were talking with all the carriers, trying to get deals with them to be sure that all our clients could have direct access to all the static rates. Okay. In 2013, 2014, we included a new feature that was the instant quoting. No? The idea was not only that our clients could search from one origin, one destination, and they could see all the possibilities, also that they can insert a markup, insert also the origin charges, destination charges, and they could send a proposal directly to the shippers. No? An easy way to search and quote, okay, and have like a CRM, okay, where you can have a database with all the quotes that you were sending to the clients, knowing if the fuel was going up, down, etc., and keep updated your clients. But the last 2 years, we are seeing a big disruption, and this is coming because the airlines are starting to work in a different way. No? They are starting to work with electronic bookings, and electronic bookings means dynamic pricing and capacity on real time. So that means that a flight at 8 a.m. could have a different price than a flight at 6 p.m., or also could be different to the flight at 6 p.m. in 2 days later. Okay, so the challenge of webcargo was that the current view of webcargo was based on static rates. No, one rate for 6 months, normally standard rates, general rates, summer or winter rates, promo rates, validity of 2 weeks, 1 month, and contract rates, also validity for 6 months, 1 year. But right now, it's completely different. We need to show different dates, different flights, and the cheapest option. And normally, the airlines for each lane are giving like 20 or 35 different results. So that means that we need to give something new, a new UI, where easily the freight forwarders can see the best option with each airline in a window of 5 days. Okay. And here is why the shift is happening. No, so electronic bookings, dynamic pricing, and capacity in real time wants is there first of all to go faster, so that you can quote faster with cost effective, easier, more accurate. And for me, this is one of the most important points. So many times when the cash was coming end of the month, the airlines were charging more money than the freight forwarders were expecting. So right now, when you are doing a booking, you agree to things. One is capacity, and second one is price. So I think that this is giving more transparent service from the airlines to the freight forwarders. Also allow to the freight forwarders to have access 24/7 to that options. Okay. And is creating a better user experience for you and also for your clients, no? Because the idea that you can be sure about the price that you are giving to them, I think that is giving a better experience to all the chain. And when we were creating the new UI, one of the most important points was how our clients are doing bookings, no? Some of them were doing bookings by departure date, another ones by price, another ones for direct connections or layover time. And for that reason, we decided to create what we call a matrix, because the idea is that in a few seconds, you will see all the options in a window of 5 days, knowing the cheapest and the fastest option. And the good point of webcargo is that we have the largest carrier network for the largest, of course, air forwarder platform. Okay? We are working with IG Cargo, Air France KLM, Etihad, Lufthansa, Scandinavian Airlines that we want to give the welcome to webcargo. They will start to publish the rates from next week, and Airbridge Cargo. And I can tell you that during the next months will be coming more and more airlines. And the idea is that this is what we are expecting, to give the maximum offer to all our clients on real time. And here is the matrix that right now we will do a small, we will show you a small demo of the system and the possibilities that this is giving for all the operations team inside of your companies. So let's share my screen. So this is the new webcargo. As you will see, there are a few changes in the homepage. So right now the search and quote is here, and the airport maps, the currency exchange, and their tracking are a little bit down. Okay? And we get a new button that is this new booking. So from here, if you click, you get access directly to the new UI, to a system exclusively to do electronic bookings. Okay? And how is working the system? So only we need to insert the origin, destination, departure date, and commodity. So one of the biggest problems, and perhaps one of the biggest challenges that we had when we were creating this new system, was that each airline had different commodities. Okay? So we were working really hard to create a mapping between all the commodities of the airlines with the HS codes, because the HS codes at the end are is a standard for all the industry. So we understood that if we want to compare rates from different carriers, okay, the idea is that was not able to use different commodities. For one airline, for example, strawberries; for another, fruits; for another, perishable. So the idea is that here you can write what you are shipping, okay, and directly the system will give you the right rate for the airlines that are working with us directly through the APIs. So you have different options. One, it's that you select general cargo or spare parts, so the most common commodities, or also you can write electric equipment, and you select one of the HS codes. Okay. Or also you can write the code, okay, and the system will show you the right commodity. Later, we insert the units. For example, we'll say that we have 4 units of 80 centimeters, 80 centimeters, 80 centimeters, and 50 kilos per each one. We can also select the special handling code. So for example, in case that we are sending an electronic argo bill, we can include it here. We click in search flights and rates. Okay. And the system right now is connecting to the different airlines, okay, to get the best rates. Okay. Of course, you will see right now dummy information because of course for any presentation we are not showing the real rates of the market. But as you can see here, the idea is that in few seconds you will be able to see different options in the market. Okay, always the cheapest in that color with that tag, and the fastest option. Okay, between all the options of the market. Once we decide, for example, for the cheapest or for the fastest, we only have to click in the box, and we will see more details. So we will see the type of aircrafts in the first leg. It's a truck plus 789. The departure details, the arrival details, and the transit time. Also, the system will give us other options for the same date. Okay. If we come back to the matrix, also important that you can change for price, range, and duration. So for example, you can see under 500 and more than 20 hours, under 500, between 500 and 1,000 euros for more than 20 hours, and you will be able to see different options for that range. And also we have the classic view. So in case that you prefer the classic view, so here you will be able to see the different options for the different dates with different filters by service, by itinerary, type of aircrafts, or range. Okay. In my point of view, I prefer that one because in few seconds I can see the cheapest option for each day with each airline. Okay, and furthermore, the cheapest option between all the airlines and the fastest option between all the airlines. So in an easy way, I can see all the information. So if at the end I decide to go with KLM, okay, I click in select, and we go directly to the summary of the booking. So here we will see all the details of the shipment, including the itinerary, the price, also the service, the goods types, the special handling code, the load information, and the cancellation policy. Only to finalize the booking, we need to include the argo bill number. We click in book this shipment, and the booking will be done. And normally between 30 seconds and 3 minutes, we will receive an email saying that the booking was accepted or was accepted with an alternative. So that means that perhaps they changed some of the flights. And also if there is any problem, anything, you will be receiving different updates until the flight is taking off from the origin. That's a little bit the new UI. Also, in the summary of my bookings, you will be able to see all the bookings that you did. Remember that, for example, if you need to do a booking, the same booking that you did, for example, last week, you can come here and you can duplicate it. So the system will copy all the details of that booking to create a new one. Also, you have different fast filters to see all the pending bookings that are pending to be confirmed from the airline, all the confirmed bookings, okay, and all the bookings that were canceled. Okay. Also, I want to say that we have as I said before, Scandinavian Airlines is starting to work with us from the next week, and he's coming with something new, and this is that you will need to include an arguable number to do the electronic booking. Okay, so you will be able to book without arguable number, and in the confirmation of the booking, you will get the arguable number. So I think that this is something new that during the next months and years, more and more airlines will start to develop, because at the end, normally the arguable number should come once the booking is done and not before. No, and I think that this will make much easy the workflow between the search and the book. Okay, and you won't need to go to your TMS to get the arguable numbers, etc., etc. Always, you will get both options in the case of SAS, so you will be able to insert manually the arguable number, but only that you know that Scandinavian Airlines is the first airlines that it's allowing the clients to do a booking without the arguable number. And this arguable number will be coming once you get the email with acceptation of the booking. Only to finalize, remember that in the current search of webcargo, when we insert one origin, one destination, for example, Barcelona, another time Bangkok, if we click in rates, before the system is showing all the market rates of the market, here you will get also the option to get access to all the dynamic rates coming from the APIs of the airlines. So the idea is that you will be able to compare the dynamic rates with the static rates, because of course not all the airlines are available right now in the market. So we are missing important airlines that are not ready to give dynamic pricing and capacity in real time. So here you will be able to compare dynamic rates coming from Air France, from KLM, Iberia, Lufthansa, Etihad, Scandinavian Airlines, Airbridge, with the static rates, general promos of other carriers. And also important, this is a standard search, so it's per break point, and the system is calculating a standard shipment of 80 centimeters for 100 kilos. Okay. If you click in at pieces and you insert the details of the shipment, okay, of course, the system will ask to the airlines for that specific details for that specific details of the shipment. So the system will show you the right rate for that shipment. So I know that there are a lot of perhaps you have some questions. Okay. During next week we will be launching this new system, and we will send also some PDFs explaining how works this new UI. But from my point of view, it's an easy system, and I think that you will get a much easy way a better easy way to search rates and to book. So thanks a lot, guys.
And thank you so much, Manel. I just want to say that a big shaper of this new redesign is really to be more user-centric, and a huge amount of working together with our customers went into making sure that this is the best possible solution. As Manel said, we'll be rolling this out gradually. Some early adopters have already gotten it. Many will be getting it in 2 different stages over the next week. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your account manager or to anybody at WebCargo. We're always very, very happy to help. We hope that this helps you conduct your air cargo operations better. We always value feedback, so if you have any questions or comments, please let us know. And with that, have a great day.